You know, it's very rare that I would get Godzilla and Kong stuff that isn't figures, but on the off chance that I do, it's necessarily not always a lamp until today. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Matthew. You can kind of see my reflection here in the back. Today we're doing a bit of a different video. Today we're taking a look at a Godzilla vs. Kong holographic 3D lamp. Now, essentially what this is, well, I just described it, a 3D lamp, one of these like light bases that flash light into a plastic kind of like glass design with Godzilla and Kong printed. Now, initially I was looking for one that had the movie logo on it, but I couldn't find any for like a good price. Or maybe I was trying to find something with like these like neon tubes and you can like put on your wall. Again, pretty expensive, but this was actually fairly cheap when I got it. So I snagged it up, and this was like the closest thing that there was to the actual Godzilla vs. Kong logo. I did see one, I think it was either a separate listing, but it had Godzilla's head with the Godzilla logo at the bottom. It was close to what I wanted, but it didn't have Kong on it, which actually for the first time, I actually wanted something with Kong as well. So, because basically my idea is I'm going to have the Titan Godzilla right here, and I should probably actually flip him back. Let's actually do that. There we go, back in action. So, back to the actual light. This is just something I wanted to go as like a little bit of a centerpiece. So my idea is to have the Titan Kong right around here, a little off screen, and have the two duking out while this is flashing right in the middle and like kind of like illuminating them, because they do illuminate their surroundings, which is pretty cool. But that said, we're going to be just doing a much more detailed look at this. So let's go ahead and just kind of review this. It's not going to be like sculpt and paint articulation and such, because it has no sculpt and it doesn't have any articulation. It's not a figure, but it does have a pretty cool design. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So first up, we're going to take a look at the actual design here, which to kind of like showcase it, it's just basically that one render of Godzilla and Kong going at it on the aircraft carrier, just edited. And you're going to see a bit of differences with the actual design and this design, which let's actually start with Kong. So Kong is going to be the one throwing the punch here. He has his arm here, his head wide open with his mouth, his left arm kind of like bending in, and of course his whole body like twisted to the side, like arcing back. I don't know if you would get a good punch if you like reared your body forward and then like bent it back like that and just threw a punch like that. Maybe that's not the best way, but to be fair, he was kind of like sedated during the match. Well, actually, I don't think it was. I think the after effects wore off anyway. For the actual details, we do get a bit of like fur details. It's not like too much, but you can definitely make out like there's fur there. Like the individual fingers are drawn, and we do have the toes as well, which are neatly done. This foot is a bit more lower than this one, which kind of makes it's longer actually, because it sits a little lower and it's more straightened out versus this one where it's bent in and then it goes down. So if this one were straightened out, it'd actually be a bit shorter. So the reason for that is because really the foot actually stops about here. Here would actually be like the foot raised up and kind of like bent to the back. You got to rewatch that movie scene to understand what I'm saying. But essentially, I might actually throw some images up on screen. So hopefully the editor, Matthew, who's in the future and doesn't forget to edit it like that, will do that. Anyway, it's really like show. So Kong is going to be in the signature pose. You already know it. We have a little bit more detail down there with like more of the well, I don't really know what to say at this point, like fur detail and such. And then we have Godzilla himself, which is going to be the big, meaty, chunky lizard. You already know him. He's got all the detail. Most of the detail pretty much went to Godzilla because we have all of this primarily with Godzilla, mainly like all the different scales and such. Of course, his teeth. Also, I forgot to point out Kong's canines. Godzilla's teeth actually have the upper row done, not so much the bottom row, which is a bit more jaggedly done, but we have all these like little lines of the scales Godzilla's arm coming in with his arm kind of like down there, a bit more bent back. And then we have his foot down here, which is a bit more bent in. And Godzilla's tail, which actually, this is kind of where they edit it, kind of like what they did here with Kong's foot, is that Godzilla's foot's supposed to really stop about here, but they actually extended it to where it actually kind of meets it down here. And they do kind of create their own custom drawing. As well as you can also tell by, we'll talk about the dorsal spikes, but as well as the tail here, which actually rears up and it's a bit more chunky in comparison to something like the actual movie where it actually extends beyond what it was supposed to be. So my guess is that maybe what they were doing was they probably did try that, but then they're like, oh shoot, it's not going to work on this sort of design. We need Godzilla and Kong together as close as possible. So they reared up Godzilla's tail to make it work. And I think in the movie, it actually kind of cuts off a bit. So there's that. Anyway, for the actual dorsal plates, I actually really like the way that they're drawn here. Again, I know this is a trace. It's kind of hard to screw up a trace, but the dorsal plates are actually done pretty well and have their shape pretty much down to science. Some of them even actually have like what appears to be like mountains on them. Obviously they're not mountains, but they look like mountains, don't they? A little bit more jaggy. And yeah, as for the actual like design, it's again fairly simplistic. It's all on one big piece of plastic glass. I'm pretty sure there's a name for this type of material. Plastic, clear plastic, translucent plastic, see-through plastic. There we go. So yeah, it's actually pretty hard material. I'm just gonna hold it down. It does have a bit of flexibility, but I would not recommend bending it unless you want to shell out the money to get another one, which I think this was the last one they had in stock. So hey, that said, the actual design of it, I would say that's pretty good. I don't really have like a way to rate it, so I just say it's a really good lamp, like as far as the design goes. Now let's talk about the other parts to this kit or set. So for the actual like light up itself, it has this big open exposed thing. I kind of wish there was like a door, like you know how they have it on some video game consoles to like prevent dust and debris going in there? Yeah, I kind of wish there was. And this is actually going to be your power button, or should I say power sensor, because this thing is actually pressure sensitive. So even just the mildest touch will actually get it to change different colors. But essentially it's just one big black cylinder with a, I'm not sure actually what that little port is, because it's not a speaker, and I don't think any lights come out of it. And you do get a little plug-in, or if you want to go the more, does this count as eco-friendly? I don't know. We have ports for 3 AA batteries, 15 volt. So if you want to run to the dollar store and get yourself some batteries, go right ahead. There's no screw hole, which thank you. Like this is proof that you can actually get a screw hole and have it, without a screw hole and have it like safely secured. And also like little bases down here to help it properly stand up. And yeah, that's just kind of it as far as the base goes. And for the actual light, or sorry, the plug, it came with this little tiny, actually no, it's pretty long. Like this is actually, how far is this? I think this might be like 2.5, 3 feet at best. I don't know. So yeah, it uses this type of plug out with a USB port. And the assembly has never been easier. So you want to just plug this into something. I'm going to plug this into my Chromebook. And then you want to plug this into the back side of it. Make sure these little prongs are going to face upward like this. And you should already start to see that it's already flashing different colors. Let's actually reset that. So let's kind of do that. So it's, for some reason mine's got a bit of a ring to it. I don't know why. I think that's honestly just because of my computer. And let's actually place the Godzilla and Kong standee. Let's actually kind of dust that off a bit, because this thing does kind of collect dust quite easily. And there you go. Godzilla and Kong are glowing. And this thing just looks so cool. But there's more colors. So you do get like a white or like a very light shade of blue. But you also get red. Just gonna let you can kind of hear a ringing. There's nothing I can really do about that. Sorry, folks. There's a green, a blue, kind of like a lime yellowish, kind of like a Toy Story color blue. And then we have purple. And then I think we're back to white. And then we have like where it goes through all the different colors. So you got like this kind of where it transitions from color to color, which I'm just going to let it sit for a little bit. Kind of get you in the vibe. So you will be seeing this in the background of my videos, hopefully from here on out. So that is good. And then you get this one where it's kind of like flashing the different colors. So you get like all of them in X sequence. I don't know if this is actually the full-blown sequence of colors in order. Oh no, this is actually just red, blue, and green. I'm such an idiot. Anyway, and then you do get this one where it transitions from color to color. So you get like blue, it's more calm, shuts off, flashes to green. Is it only red, blue, and green that it only goes to? So we have those three colors. Does it just loop back? I think it only just loops back. Yeah, it just loops back. But yeah, that's just kind of like just a testament to like, oh no, it does flash the other colors there, so there you go. But basically, this is just going to give you like a rough idea as to like how this thing glows and what you can actually do with it. So there's that. Do we have anything else to point out? Yes, we do get this flashing of all the colors. I do believe so. Just kind of let that run through. I think we're good. And are we back? Yeah, we're just back with the cycling through the colors. Anyway, that is going to basically be it, aside from some size comparisons. So for a brief size comparison, or a brief comparison in general, here it is with the U2's Godzilla vs. Kong on the aircraft carrier set. And I mean, these two are basically depicting the same thing. Although, let's talk here, okay? Let's talk. I had to fish this thing out. I have a section in my closet where I keep all my U2 stuff. This thing is at the bottom, still in its box, so I had to take off all the other figures, get my butt wet because the cat water was there, and carefully open this thing without ripping or breaking anything, because the boxes have definitely seen better days because of the amount of creases and folds they have, and bring it out for this review. So you better subscribe. The things I do for you viewers, you better subscribe. But that said, if you want just like a general comparison as to like what they look like using the same pose, there you go. Good as new. And so, what do I think of this set? Well, this lamp, it's not really a set, but it's a lamp. I think that this is honestly really cool. I love this thing a lot. It's so cool and unlike anything I've ever had. It's almost like the lines are individually glowing, even though it's literally just one big light projection. And from far away, it really looks like that Godzilla and Kong are being like projected like via holograms from afar. Even though up close, you kind of ruin the illusion because it's, glass or plastic. That said, do I recommend this? Even though, yes, it is a knockoff, and there are some quality things I do have concerns about. For example, the sides of it, though smooth, they do have a bit of a mild rough texture to them, and there's actually this one piece of Godzilla's dorsal plate which are like jagged, because like the rest is so curved off, and then you have like this one jagged piece that I feel like could have been polished up a little bit more. But as far as the actual execution of it goes, yeah, it could have been a lot worse. Just to like be absolutely clear, this is probably the only one of its kind as far as like, because like I don't really recall Toho or any like major company putting out holographic lights like this. So really, you could order one right now off of AliExpress or Temu if they have them. That's where I got mine though. But that said, As for like a score, 8.5, because I definitely think that the maybe some of the illustrations, like the tail, because it kind of gets like a little chunky. It looks a little weird, and I do have like some mild scratches on mine. Those weren't scratches, but these ones are, because like I have some scratches, and like it's definitely a bit shoddy quality sometimes, but it's actually pretty good for what it is. Anyways, that's all I have for this video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like. 2 likes. Go on an alt account and like with another account. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, everyone.